Okay, so when we're looking at the basics of graph reading, first thing we're going to do is talk about the different types of graphs. So we have our bar graphs here, which bar graphs are typically used to show numerical values of groups. So, I go out and I count how many cats there are and how many dogs there are at the park, and I put it in a graph. That's going to be a bar graph. This one's showing different graduate years and percent of students that did something. I don't know what it is. It doesn't say on this graph. We use bar graphs for counting things. Scatter plots show the relationship between two variables. So if you're ever wanting to know size and color, or age and difficulty, or whatever you're looking at, two things, that's when you use a scatter plot. And oftentimes we can fit these best fit lines into scatter plots to kind of show trends or patterns, but that's not always necessary. Then we have line graphs. Line graphs are very similar to scatter plots in that you'll typically have set points on a chart. The main difference or main separation, though, is line graphs are typically used to show changes over time, and you connect the points with a line to show that change. That's a very linear change. The last type of graph that we have is the pie chart. Pie charts are used to show when you have a whole group of something and you want to show what percentage or what amount of that whole group have a certain trait or a certain thing. This one shows how many students are involved in different sports as a percentage. Okay. Now, a few things to remember as we're looking at graphs. So graphs will often have titles. They'll have labels for their different axes. The most important things to look at are things like the scale. So on this side over here, we can see that each tick represents 2 vegetables bought. So as we're looking at the different things, we can then interpret that there were 5 tomatoes bought because of where it is on the graph. So anytime in the ACT as you're taking the test and looking at different graphics, it is important to look at the labels and understand what you're seeing, because oftentimes they will ask you questions trying to trick you if you aren't looking closely at what's there. Okay, last thing as we're looking at graphs and stuff are these data tables. So data tables are a way of collecting data. And this one here, they're looking at how much light is transmitted through different solutions with concentrations of salt. And you can see they've run 5 different trials. And in each trial, they've changed the concentration of salt and recorded their transmittance. So lots of times we take this data from these tables and we put it into graphs. ACT likes giving you both. Sometimes they'll give you the graphs, sometimes they just give you the tables, and they'll ask you to extract the information yourself.